Hello and welcome to this edition of the Boob Tube Buddies podcast featuring our discussion of the FX original series Taboo, episode 2 of season 1, entitled, I have no fucking clue what it's titled and I searched extensively. I'm your host Foxman and I'm joined by the brace to my Delaney. What up, Mothman?
The brace to, okay, that's pretty good. I was going to say, if you didn't have a good one, I was going to say the smallpox to that poor actor's face.
That's way better, and to be fair, I never have a good one.
And you know, you were right. I'm going to say it on air. I looked it up, and that actor isn't hideous. He did have makeup on. They just did a damn good job with the makeup.
He looks pretty smallpox stricken, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, they basically gave him a incredibly lifelike Tommy Lee Jones mask.
Oh, no. Oh, old cheese grater face. For those of you joining us for the first time, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, or our website, www.boobtubebuddies.com, to get in on the conversation. We will make sure all your thoughts, theories, questions, everything like that gets on air. So either write us in, send us in an audio clip, whatever it is. We love hearing from you guys, so don't hesitate to reach out.
Hey, and real quick, I also, after looking at your notes, did some looking into episode 2, and I found its name.
Did you really?
It's episode 2.
Oh, is it really?
Well, I don't know if it really is, so I was like, well, what's the one other place I could check? And I checked the FX app, which is how I watch FX, and Always Sunny has names, like The Gang Turned Black, like on the app, and this show just says episode 2.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I looked everywhere, and the first one actually had a title, so
that's the weird thing. Yeah,
really confused me. But I don't. Unless you have anything else, are you ready to get into our first little segment of the night, buddy?
Oh my goodness, I am so excited for this segment. What's that segment called?
All right, so for those of you joining us for the first time, we have our first segment, which is called Summon It Up in a Tweet, which is 144 characters or less used to summarize the show. So, without further ado, here is Summon It Up in a Tweet.
Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up. Summon it up, oh yeah, we're summon it up. Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up. Summon it up and up.
Tweet. All right, Mothman, you want to go ahead and fire this bitch up?
Yes. First off, I think Twitter's 140 characters.
No. Is it really?
Yeah, so have you been cheating the whole time?
It goes red when you're over the thing, so that's all I based it on. But is it really 140? Because I've said 144 on like a dozen episodes.
So
now.
I swore you used to say 140. 140 is actually what also used to be. Remember when you used to have a phone you could text before like iPhones, and you had to hit like A, B, C, 1, 2, 1, blah blah blah. That also used to be the text limit. But you have small children, and it is a multiple of 12, so that's probably where the confusion came from. Multiplication tables.
That makes me really embarrassed to think of all the fucking, oh my god, in 12 episodes, that is like thousands of people that have heard me say it wrong. You fuckers, why didn't any of you write in and say something?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think they just assumed you're a dad in social media and you, like, it's a stretch to begin with, so they're like, whatever, we'll cut them some slack. So, anyway, getting down to brass tacks, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
The nation's worst fears confirmed. Trump is trying to please Russia. Oops. I mean, Delaney is trying to please America. Hashtag it's all theater.
Oh my god, you can't even help yourself.
That's a good tweet. That's a good tweet.
That was good. That was very good. Very hashtagable.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you got for us, huh?
Well, I, my friend, have a little surprise for you.
What?
I, my friend, have a little surprise for you.
This is where it's playing, isn't it?
No, it's not. Okay, so what I have entitled Summon It Up in a Dramatic Retelling. Cue it up.
I've no love of the East India Trading Co., but Delaney, the incestuous fuck, is a mad bastard if he thinks he can take them on. While he's on the mission to find the ghost of his would-be assassin, he has no fucking idea that his father's bride is coming to claim what's hers. When the blade catches up with him, neither Doug Stamper or Al Capone will be able to help him. God save his wretched soul.
That is Summon It Up in a Dramatic Retelling, And that is summing it up in a tweet. Fuck you, motorcycle.
Oh man.
God damn, fucking Speed Racer goes flying by in the middle of my fucking soliloquy.
Jesus. Anyway, I think that's a really good dramatic retelling. I kind of want to call you a fucking cunt for breaking the rules.
Jesus Christ.
You give me these super specific rules that I have to obey to the T, and then you have to just outdo me.
I know what you're doing here, you best of 2016, best of 2017 line skirting cheating son of a bitch.
I mean, I guess I'm getting a little of my own medicine.
Yeah, exactly. So, you ready to go ahead and dive into the episode, get some content flowing here, buddy?
I absolutely am. I got my water at room temperature, and I also have my milk.
I don't know what sort of fucking rally racing is going on behind me, but I'm getting road rage sitting in the middle of my fucking house right now.
My goodness. For what it's worth, I can't actually hear it.
You know what? I put on my noise canceling headphones, and I swear to God, it's like I'm getting sonar sounds of what's happening outside of my house when it happens.
You sure you didn't buy the wrong thing? They're noise amplifying?
Yeah, they're definitely noise amplifying headphones.
They're like a gag gift that you accidentally bought online. It's like, hey, Grandpa, take these on the plane.
Oh, shit. Okay, so let's get into the episode. First, I just want to hear what you thought. Like, did you like this episode?
I love this episode. So
Me too.
Episode,
yeah, I'm really into it.
The first episode I didn't love, but I love the universe and the characters and the look, and like it was enough. So like I loved the first episode of Westworld. It not only set up the universe, but just like I thought was a great one of the best episodes. The first episode of this was intriguing and set enough up where I was interested, but it wasn't until like the last 20 minutes where I actually felt any kind of momentum. Whereas this one, like shit was happening.
There's just so much, what's the word I'm looking at? It's just so much world building and setup in the first one that you didn't really get to sink your teeth in too much. Whereas this one, you get Doug Stamper, you get Al Capone. Yeah. Like, I got more. I felt like I understood where it's going too. The trajectory was more clear.
Yes, I felt so as well. I was a little disappointed though that they had such terrible like historical accuracy. Doug Stamper is not from until the 2000s, and Al Capone was what, the 40s?
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, they definitely seemed a little bit like themselves, don't you think?
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up. I might as well bring it up now. Doug Stamper. So I'm not a historian, and I also didn't pay attention in history class. But how long was America supposed to have existed in 1814?
I don't know, 100 years, 50 years, 30 years, 20 years, 8 years, 20 years. I
don't know. This is terrible. But long story short,
the late 1700s, right?
Yeah, something like that. 1765, is that a date that matters in America?
I thought it was 1776.
It is 1776. Look at you.
Yeah, freedom of 76, right?
Freedom!
Oh, you 76. Glorious bastard. I was sure you would not know that.
A Ween reference? Come on, dog.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who have never listened to Ween, grab your Apple Music or Spotify and cue it up. It is some goodness. But
Freedom of 76 is a good one, too. It's a gem.
That is a gem. So this is 1814. So we're talking like 30-something years. How does he have an American accent and no British accent? Like, that's not even a generation. And he's older. That means he's British and moved
No. Here's where you're confused about that, is that just because that's when America declared their independence doesn't mean they weren't already living basically as Americans, or at the very least, like as a people separate with a dialect and accent different. Now, for all I know, they actually still at that point had British accents, but just because they had not declared their independence that long ago from England doesn't necessarily mean that they wouldn't have already developed their own dialect.
Okay. So when did the Pilgrims come over there?
16. That I have no fucking.
This is our game for the episode. Is really just history questions.
It's awful.
Now you have to pretend you are a white man fucking over Native American. Because you got the question wrong.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that.
Drink this fire water, red man.
God, that's so racist. All right.
That's what you asked me to do, you bitch.
I didn't say to use racist terminology like Red Man. I mean, unless you're referring to the rapper,
embodying the role.
It's pretty racist. Anyway. I love that they officially kind of hired the hitman. We knew that's where it was going at the end of last episode, but then for him to like throw the piece of paper on the floor and be like, yeah, that's your pink slip unless you kill this dude.
Yes, so now it's all out there. Like, we're not talking in hushed whispers or anything like that. Like, flat out, they want him dead. That's what they're going for, and I like it because it sort of starts quickening the pace of it.
Definitely. We also find out what he buried, because you saw him like in a raincoat and a horse in the beginning of last episode, and he buried something deep in the mud. He goes and picks that up, goes back home and interacts with Brace. And it's diamonds. It also is very clear. I mean, both sides are basically drawing their weapons. You understand that he has a hit out for him, but then he also immediately is giving Brace a gun and saying, like, get ready for battle.
Yes, and he uses the diamonds to go buy the ship, which is, I guess, really important because it kind of shows that he is kind of mounting up to either create a rival thing to East India Trading Co. Or at the very least, he has his out, like a way to now cross that transatlantic sort of trip there and get away from the East India Trading Co., who we kind of find out throughout the episode clearly does not have great relations with America because they are essentially a British-run company and America is at war with Britain right now.
Yes. And I also like that he said, I'm buying this for the Nuka Sound Trading Company. Like in front of them there, they were like obviously super pissed because he didn't just outbid them and humiliate them, but like he's saying it's for a competing, he's definitely stoking the flames. I didn't even think of the escape aspect of it, but being that he's obviously looking for a fight, that's probably not the worst idea.
Yeah, and I just love Sir Stuart, Stuart Strange, I think is his name. I just love his line, "The fucking Americans!"
Yeah, the guy with the cane and the curly hair.
Yeah, can I say, I do think that they have a bit of like awkward cuts to commercials on this. It's like a line hits, and then it's just instantly into the, like, no slow fade out, or it's just like, it's a little jarring actually watching it, and I really noticed it the second time, but even the first time watching it I was like, these cuts are a little awkward going out to the commercials.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. I think the commercials are in the same place with the app, but they probably all aren't because there's like less commercials overall, so I think some of the ones I see just end up being a cut and immediately the next scene.
Oh, that's got to be really nice then.
I'm sure sometimes it is. But what is interesting to me is every now and then I'll watch a show on Netflix that obviously was made for TV and not streaming. And the commercial cuts are the most obvious thing, especially like a kind of sitcom-y style show where they have, like, think of Full House where they go to commercial and it's like, ba-da-dum-ba, and then when they come back it's like, ba-bum-bum-ba, and then everyone enters the room and starts saying stuff.
I really got what you were saying when you did that. That was pretty good.
That stuff is super fucking funny on streaming because it just immediately does both of them back to back and you realize how framed it was.
I want to watch some of those cool paint out freeze frame scenes from Blossom and see how those translate.
Oh god, those are amazing.
Okay, so the next part that I want to talk about is who I keep referencing as Al Capone, which is who he plays in Boardwalk Empire, but he in this is Atticus, and I fucking love his head tattoos.
I love his head tattoos, which is like the Traveler's Compass or whatever it was called.
Exactly.
The moment he walked out of the shadows, I pointed at the screen and said, Russell Crowe! and then Julia's like, that's Russell Crowe? I was like, well, yeah, but without hair, so he just looks weird. And then he sat down, I was like, that must be his brother.
No, definitely not. That's
some
funny.
guy named Stephen Graham. They have the same, father.
Yeah.
Or mother, whatever it would be. Anyway.
So yeah, this guy is writing a book, which is funny because he does not seem like
the scholarly type.
Yeah, exactly. He's not the scholarly type.
Yeah,
he's not like highfalutin like Mothman. He's definitely like down and
everyday
dirty
working
in
man.
the trench working man like Foxman.
Yeah, no, I figured like book was a euphemism for killing people.
Yeah, which
I'm
apparently
writing a
is what he
book, eh?
does.
Yeah, exactly. He was contracted or attempted to be contracted to kill his father, which that was the reveal last season. He obviously knows it's happening, but for this guy to say like, oh yeah, they wanted me to put a hit on him, but you know, we sailed the ocean blue, we're pals, so I said, you know, take the piss.
Yes. I want to hear what you think about this. What did you think about the king, or the whatever the
Prince Regent.
His Highness is? Yeah, exactly. Prince Regent. I knew it
So,
wasn't king. Prince Regent.
Well, so Julia looked it up because she was like, I don't like the way he looks. And,
I didn't either.
Well, he had, you know, kind of like almost a smallpox type makeup. I guess he's historically a real person and like a giant joke and was made fun of openly during that time period. Apparently had like all kinds of medical conditions, including something with his ass.
Okay, because he said something about his toe, so I'm like, and the way he looks, I'm like, so does he have gout and turf toe and hemorrhoids and elephantitis? And like,
everything he could possibly have. I don't know.
yeah, fucking malady man over here. He was hard to look at, and he had like terrible rosacea and bad skin, terrible teeth, like not a handsome man.
And definitely like a nitpicker. Really, just go back and, I mean, this is not when you had printers. So like he's making someone redraw the map, or you know, and then make
not
the
even
X's
just
slightly
redraw the
different.
map, but those like that has probably made its way to different parts of the British Royal Navy, and like so they probably have to redistribute this whole thing, and now we get like what, one fucking galleon that isn't going to get their copy on time. They're gonna say, yeah, attack red over here, and they're gonna fucking go fire on their own ships. I don't know, man. I did not think that was prudent.
No, well said. I definitely didn't think that like I didn't get the I don't know, the feeling of strong leadership from that guy.
No, he if he was a joke, like you said, historically, then they did a good job of playing it up, because he was just a big harumphing elephant in a show with otherwise serious people.
Yeah, which I mean, it is definitely a show that has a decent amount of character. And the first episode, I don't think it was as clear, because the one real character was just Delaney, and he was kind of being menacing. And I don't know, I didn't feel like you get the most development of other characters. But now that you're starting to see people come into their own, for example, the character that said the fucking Americans, he's kind of becoming a bit of a caricature. Obviously, I mean, Tom Hardy has that very distinct way he delivers lines in this show. You now have the Prince Regent. Like, I think you're starting to kind of see some of the more colorful personalities emerge.
Agreed. And the only other part I want to mention about that scene with the king is the guy he's talking to, Solomon Coop. He mentions something about fucking over the East India Trading Co. So whereas you think the whole show that East India Trading Co. is completely aligned with the crown, obviously there is going to be some discord there. Only bringing it up because obviously that's a little bit of like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're setting the stage for something to happen later with that.
Yeah, I would agree there. I would agree. So after this, the other interesting thing that happened is, I just was curious your speculation about this, but we've now seen him have a vision twice with this like very pale woman in a like dark dress and with like weird scaly skin.
Yes. Okay,
what
so
does it mean?
what's your... Oh, okay, I have no idea. I don't think that we're supposed to know yet. I think that they're just like, they're showing more and more things of this, and at some point there's going to be a payoff, but definitely it hasn't translated into any tangible knowledge in the quote-unquote real world of the show. Other than understanding that somehow his mystical powers granted him the ability to communicate with his father over vast, miles and leagues of land and sea.
There we go. So there's a little bit of the speculation. I don't know what it means either. There's obviously no solid footing, right? But I would say that it's clearly the ghost of the dead relationship of him and his sister.
The ghost of the dead relationship of him and his sister. That's a lot of words. I was thinking it was his dead mother.
I was actually thinking
anything.
dead mother too, but you know.
No. You're on record as dead relationship with his sister.
Okay, yeah, just manifest into this weird scaly thing.
Yeah, exactly. So moving past Lizard Lady, I want to talk about the little girl Winter. I have a theory with her, and it is, I see dead people. We don't know. We don't know for a fact.
I felt similarly when she disappeared all of a sudden out of nowhere. By the way, what was the motive there? Is that just like one of the East India boats? What happened to where he wanted to burn that boat?
Supposedly that was the man who was hunting him to kill him. The Silver-Toothed Man that we heard about a couple of times. That was his boat, and it was moored offshore right there. And he went to go see him. He was not aboard the ship, so he just burned it down.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when he gets back and she's not there, that was... that by itself wouldn't mean anything, but also just kind of, I think her name's Helga, the mistress at the whorehouse. When we find out it's her daughter and they talk about that a little bit, something in her reaction just made like the red flags go off in my head that there was maybe something more to that.
Okay. I thought you were saying his guess just wasn't right, but you're saying it's both. It's her daughter, but also she's dead.
Exactly. And
okay,
because the first time that I watched it, I thought something's not right here. And I was like, they did say something about her taking his virginity. And I was like, maybe it's his daughter. But the second time with the disappearing and there's just the strange behavior, I was more thinking along the lines of...
and the strange behavior.
Oh God, what'd I do with it all?
I'm on board for that. Know what I don't want to see?
Let's hear it.
You know how in shows they do like the nice exposition scene where like all these subtle plot things have happened and everything gets explained?
Yeah.
And they also flash back to it, like the stuff we didn't see. I really don't want to see her just jump out of the boat and swim very quickly and just barely miss him escaping.
Oh, you're saying like just like that's just telling a little too much at some point if we have to even see that?
Well, like say it's not anything mystical, right? Like she's not dead. She actually is Helga's daughter and she's alive and well.
And at that point she jumped off ship and swam away.
Yeah, and he's just like, but how? How did she disappear? And then it's like, oh, I'll tell you. And then like splash, splash, swim, swim, swim. That was a waste of our time.
Yeah, a little on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, nothing about the show so far strikes me as the type of show to do some dumb shit like that.
I would agree. Hopefully it doesn't get there.
Did you feel bad for the lady when he pulled her wig off?
No, I didn't. She wasn't balding. Was it just to be a blonde?
I guess so. It reminded me of when you first started playing shows when you were younger, and you were just sort of adopting this persona of yourself, and you were wearing the tight pants and no shirt all the time, and eventually you dubbed yourself Mothman and started wearing that long wig. And then I just remember that time when you were playing with Rorschach Test. Was that what it was?
It was Rorschach.
Rorschach.
Our original, no, it was Rorschach, and then it was like very, very briefly the Inkblot Testers because Rorschach was taken, and then we moved on to Faltering Visionaries.
I don't remember that at all. But don't you remember when Roxanne ran up and pulled the wig off halfway through and you started crying on stage?
I don't. I do remember when our band played a song called I Wish I Wasn't So Emo, which was making fun of just like the overly ridiculous like emo scene back then, and some dude tried to tackle me.
Oh no.
Some dude tried to tackle me. I wasn't expecting it. Just kind of hit me kind of like a brick wall, because I'm Mothman. And then he ran out and like hid in the alley, and I guess his mom owned the venue and wasn't mad at us, but was like trying to get him to come back in. He was just crying like an emo bitch.
Oh my God. Is that a true story?
Totally a true story.
I love that story. That's so good.
And know what I found out afterwards that made me feel slightly worse is that my friend Harrison was not in he was playing bass for us that show. No, he wasn't really in the band, but like he would come and play bass every now and then because Mark and I wrote the songs. Anyway, we did this I Wasn't So Emo song, mainly making fun of him because he loved emo, but he apparently based the structure of the song that we all jammed to, and we even passed a bucket around to the audience to donate to the cause of curing emo, and the song was to the, like, melody of a local emo band, and apparently that kid was the drummer.
Oh my god.
So he was just so fucking butthurt that he tried to tackle me in the middle of a show at Ozone CDs. And thank you for bringing up that memory, because that was like the only ridiculous thing to ever actually happen at one of our shows. Because otherwise we were not rock and roll. I never fucked a fish on stage or anything.
Oh my god, I fucking love it. That is fucking brilliant. If it's cool with you, okay. I think this might be a really good lead in to our, I'm going to sit down with Michael here. And, well, I mean, I sat down with Michael. We have a little bit of a conversation about the show so far. This is Michael from Preach or Don't Preach, by the way.
I think that sounds great. I'm just going to say that when we get back, I have another story involving a wig and being a rock star.
God damn, dude. You are just spinning yarns left and right. All right.
They're all a little taboo, if you will.
Oh. We'll be right back.
Player 3 has entered the game.
All right, Foxman here, talking to Michael from Preach or Don't Preach. What's going on, Mike?
Not much. How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. So, we have not really talked about Taboo at all. In fact, you started to probe a question or two here or there before we're going to come on air, and I said, you know what? Let's save it, man.
Pump the brakes, buddy.
Pump the brakes, exactly. So, let's just start off super general. What do you think about the show so far?
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Right off the bat, I'm a fan. I was worried about it. I think we've talked about that at least, is that the trailers weren't really clear.
Yeah.
But I think that the show so far has been pretty linear. You have an idea of where it's headed.
Definitely. Now, are there any major complaints that you have with it yet?
Not yet. I'm not a big fan of the whore. She was from
Helga, I think.
You know who that is? I'll steal Bethany's bit.
Oh my god, you know who that is, right?
Jason Bourne's girlfriend. So from the first one, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I don't remember her name.
Okay,
is. I try and forget her, but I'm not the biggest fan of that character. But it's early, so I mean, it's hard to be too down on anything this early in the game.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I like everything so far. I have just a couple of little complaints here and there. They're not even really clear ones. I have just some issues with some of the stuff. Seems a little theatrical, like a little campy, but almost always that can be written off as it's a period piece. So what, did I live during that time to know whether or not it's, super real?
Okay, you say that, and that makes, as soon as you said that, I thought of the fat guy from the East India Company. Not the head guy, but the chubby face guy who kind of says, here's your resignation, if you don't kill him, this is going to go through. That guy, okay, yeah.
It's a little over the top.
And the Prince Regent.
That's just silly. If he, was filled with all these maladies, it's a little over the top with the makeup, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely see where you're coming from. And do you know who that is?
Oh my God, you're on fire tonight.
That's Mark Gatiss from Sherlock, who plays Mycroft, Sherlock Holmes' brother.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you see him in real life, even the costume's a bit over the top, to be fair.
I don't know what he looks like in real life. All I know is that that makeup looks very makeup-y.
Yeah.
Which is funny because the dude with smallpox, old craggy face, that looks pretty good. Mothman actually asked me, he's like, are you sure that he does, they didn't just pick an actor who kind of already has that?
No, he's a pretty familiar character actor, so
yeah.
I can't think of his name, but yeah, no, he's, it looks good. But yeah, the Prince Regent, I don't know if is he extremely sunburnt? And then I don't know what's going on with him, man. It's bad complexion.
That is really funny. Yeah, well, they all do. Oh my God, all their teeth are absolutely horrible.
The worst.
So bad.
The worst, yeah.
I mean, I know that there's definitely that maybe semi-offensive stereotype about British people and bad dental hygiene and their bad teeth. But this definitely takes it to a new level. I didn't notice if the American Doug Stamper from House of Cards.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I didn't know who that was.
But did he have bad? Yeah, of course. Oh my God! But did you? Did he have bad teeth? I'm trying to remember.
I didn't notice if he did.
It would be kind of funny if they just had the one American happen to have just flawless crest teeth.
Well, I think the sister's teeth are pretty good, but being the female lead, she's going to be as attractive as they can make her.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that's where the studio execs come in and they're like, listen, man, we're giving you pretty much carte blanche here. We're asking for one thing, somebody that can appear on the poster next to Tom Hardy, because he's not going to be smiling on the poster anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to tell with Tom Hardy. I think especially I lock in on his eyes all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beautiful.
Oh, God.
You get lost in them. And those super traps he's got that I know that Mothman will support me on.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, his hulking gait, as Mothman would put it. Jeez, what a weirdo. Okay, so overall you're liking it. Were you surprised what they're allowed to get away with in terms of language?
Not so much.
Okay, is there precedent for it?
I just watch a lot of FX shows, so I'm not that surprised about it. And
The N-word, though?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it took me the first time, but I'm of that Louis C.K. mind. I'd rather people say it at this point in time.
Yeah, rather than put it in your head and make you say it inside your own head.
Like the N-word now, because it's like, as soon as somebody says, oh, the N-word, I think of Louis C.K. I'm like, oh, just say it.
For the record, we are just saying the N-word, and I am not daring you to go past that. Like, I'm begging you actually not
No,
to.
I'm referring to the N-word as the N-word. I'm happy to say it.
Okay, so speaking of being massively offensive, I think that you had some sort of opinion on Betty White's birthday.
Oh, not her birthday. I'm just sick of Betty White.
Jesus Christ.
I saw the video of her dabbing, and I'm like, get out of here. Just go. Be old. Be 95. Quit being young, man.
Oh, man. I just
fuck
got
you, Snickers, for bringing that back into my life.
Wow. I have nothing more to say.
Sorry, if you're a sponsor, I love Snickers.
Yeah. Yeah, hungry, why wait? So any last thoughts you want to put out on the show before we call it?
No, that's it. I'm just really looking forward to seeing how it develops. Like, there's some cutaway scenes to, like, the witch in the water. That's what I'm calling her.
Yeah.
I'm really interested where that's going to go and exactly what the spiritual side of this is, because there obviously is one.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's constantly tapping into the other side. And I talked with Mothman a little bit during the episode about, like, how much so. Like, are there maybe, like, characters now that we see that perhaps might not actually be there? Or is it pretty compartmentalized? I'm just curious to see how it all sort of ekes its way out.
Yeah, definitely excited.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll be on next week for our clip show thing that we're doing.
Yep.
The best of the week or best of the month.
Yeah.
We have not really defined the parameters.
I did my top
well.
5 with 7 ties.
Oh my God. All you guys, assholes, every one of you. All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right.
Player 3 has left the game.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Boob Tube Buddies. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Titles such as The Witch Doctor's Wife, A Mystery by Tamar Myers. This novel is full of intrigue set to the sights and sounds of Africa. Don't you want to know what happened to the witch doctor? Well, I called the witch doctor. He told me what to do. He said, audibletrial.com/boobtube buddies, ting tang, walla walla motherfucking bang bang. Little buddies.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much to Mike for being on our show doing an interview. If you like what you hear from Mike, give Black Mirror a shot on Netflix. Every episode is self-contained, and he does a Preacher Don't Preach segment on each and every one of them.
Oh, yeah, and if you liked I mean, obviously you liked it, but the Summing It Up in a Dramatic Retelling, I also did Summing It Up in a Dramatic Trailer for the most recent episode, which I believe is going to air the same day as this one, of Black Mirror, which is for the episode Nosedive, so definitely check that out.
And if you didn't like them, keep your goddamn mouth shut.
Oh,
right?
All right, you're speaking my language, dog.
All right, so real quick, just my quick story that is actually a real, like, the last story was real, the story you said was embellished, but there's a period, which is kind of still now, but I really got into guitar because of Metallica. I loved Metallica when I was younger, and I wanted to be a rocker. I wanted to grow my hair out, but I wasn't allowed with school because I was in private school, all that bullshit. And we also happened to have a Cocker Spaniel Bichon Fruget mix that got matted hair, so we'd shave it like once a month. So
That's the gayest name for a dog breed that I've heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
So frou-frou.
yeah, very much so. But that's why we mixed it with a cocker to kind of give it some manliness. Dog was named Snuggles because my mom wouldn't let me name it Godzilla, but it was mean. Anyway,
Snuggles and it
right?
was mean.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, fine, fucking Snuggles. Everyone will get bit. Anyway, so one time I shaved the dog, and then because I wanted to be James Hetfield from Metallica, I got some Elmer glue and gave myself a beard.
With the fucking dog hair?
Absolutely.
Oh, God. Please tell me you have pictures.
So I have so many goddamn embarrassing pictures that have to be in shoeboxes somewhere that I'm trying to find, like, get my mom to find so I can scan them in. Because I definitely took, like, 2 Polaroids.
Oh, my God. I cannot wait to see that.
It was... Do you remember when there was, like, clear blue Elmer's glue that was just so cool?
Yeah.
It was that glue, by the way. So anyway, enough down memory lane.
I have to say, there are no embarrassing pictures of me. I was straight-laced as could be all growing up. I never dressed strangely or did anything weird with my hair or put face paint on at school.
Oh my
Just,
God.
Like, total white bread, straight little guy.
I feel like if we did Throwback Thursday, I think they have that on Twitter as well, and just put an embarrassing picture up with whatever the hashtag is, we'd probably get like a huge fan base overnight because of how ridiculous both of us were back then.
Yeah, I'm thinking of my hot pink tight pants that got me suspended for the teacher walked me up to the front office and she's like, I cannot have him in my class wearing these hot pink pants. You see what it's doing to, and then she's like gesturing down to my penis, but won't say it. And then the administrator is like, well, we can't suspend him for that. And then another administrator walked in and they were talking about it and my midriff was exposed. So I got suspended for 5 days out of school for having my midriff exposed at school.
Oh my God, that is so good. I used to, and then I promise we'll stop talking about school after this. But just in terms of, I went to a private school my whole life, obviously wanted to rebel, but not really get in trouble. So the dress code said that your hair could not touch the collar. So I would intentionally get my hair cut at an angle, kind of like the Ghost in a Shell haircut, basically.
Oh, God.
So that it could be as long as possible without ever making contact with my collar whatsoever. And they always hated me for it.
That's awesome. And that
Fuck
was
authority.
a trip down memory lane. You ready to get back into the show?
We just came back from commercial. See?
Okay, so when Delaney goes to acquire his newly acquired ship, when he goes to board his newly acquired ship, he goes in, and I was a little confused why he got on the ground and started playing night crawlers.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was weird, right? Because he got nakies and started doing like all sorts of ritualistic type stuff. You didn't think that was weird at all?
I mean, I think it's weird, but everything he has done is pretty weird. Like earlier when he's talking to Brace and he's asking about the treaty and Brace has not seen the treaty and he's like, well, I'm going to need that shit for court, bro. And he just doesn't get the response he wants. Like I think Brace says, I've never seen... Let me do Brace. You ready for this?
Oh, God.
I've never seen the treaty on a horsehide.
Oh, God. It was a deer skin, by the way, not a horse hide.
Deerskin. Deerskin.
To which case he just does not respond at all, just starts chanting in another language and like hanging his marble rosary type thing.
Based off of these flashbacks, can I just say that Delaney's Throwback Thursday pictures would probably not be so funny? Just be slaves reaching up through like grates as they're being flooded out of a ship.
Yeah, seriously. There is a shot from some of the promotional material that has him like completely naked. You can actually see those thighs.
If you want to see it, check out our YouTube video of our first episode because it's literally the first image after our opening logo on there.
Yeah, which is probably where your mind was filled with like all the thigh speculation and his hulkiness that you talked about last episode. But he's in like full white paint with his tattoos, like full tribal mode.
I hope you don't listen to the recent Black Mirror episode because I talked for 2 or 3 minutes to Bethany
about Hamm.
No, about how weird you were being doing your body talk about Tom Hardy in the first episode of Taboo.
Nothing but untruths. This is why the audience knows the Mothman stories are BS.
Oh, man. The Mothman
somehow-
stories are canon, bro.
Yes, yeah, well, they might as well be, because even though they're BS, somehow I still respond to it. And, like, I play online games with my father, who's like, why the fuck does he call you Mothman?
And everybody else that, like, joins in that plays, everybody calls you Mothman. Everybody I know calls you Mothman, and not even as a joke. Like, it's literally just somehow become your name.
Oh, God. I always wanted, like, a cool nickname, and then I, became comfortable with myself, and I was like, you know what, Mathis is unique, I'm unique, like, I'm good enough, darn it, it's gonna be fine. And all that's been ripped away in the last 6 months.
Careful what you ask for. I mean, last 6 months only because we've been spending more time together in the last 6 months, but I have been calling you Mothman for a decade at least.
Yeah, to be fair, that's true.
Okay, so anyway, let's get back to it. Honestly, let's go ahead and jump forward to old craggy face dude, Mr. Thoit, the lawyer. So I like that Delaney calls him out, actually, for,
In 40 years of being my father's lawyer, you reported everything he did to East India.
Yep. I mean,
You're
because
a whore.
he is playing.
Whore.
sorry, go ahead.
You're playing.
Let me, hear my Tom Hardy?
I was sure you were doing Sylvester Stallone by that.
It's pretty close.
You're playing both sides of the coin.
Okay, all right, that wasn't too bad.
He kind of has,
a
like,
mixture
the
between
Negan stylings.
Sylvester Stallone, Negan, and Dr. Ford from Westworld.
Yeah, I mean, they all have to merge at some point. But anyway, like, he's kind of, like, working for both, but he also, like, he does seem semi-loyal to the Delaneys and maybe doesn't like the East India Company. And I was actually reading the Wikipedia page for Taboo, and there's a little controversy about the negative light East India is painted in this, because apparently, they did a tremendous amount for, like, the forward progress of mankind and trade and this, that, and the other. But there was this period, which we're in now.
But so did Carnegie and Rockefeller and all those scumbags that had, like, 10% of their workforce dying in the fucking coal mines. So.
Exactly. Well, like, and I don't know anything about East India. Long story short, though, this is this period where they were out wearing their welcome anyway, like, no matter what. So we're kind of seeing just the terribleness that they are. And it's obviously he's loyal to him because they run the joint. Like, they obviously have everything they can hold over him. So I don't dislike...
if I recall my history books correctly, and obviously I do, and you guys have heard how spot on we are with our history, I think what really started to turn public opinion against them is this was the period in time where they started experimenting with doing deliverables with droids instead of by ships. So, like, and by droids, I mean drones.
Yeah, I was like, are you going to make a drone reference like Amazon?
Fucking Star Wars?
Droids.
No, a drone. God damn it. Fucking sweet setup and a terrible punchline. Okay, so let's move on past that.
Yes, so he does that. I'm trying to think what else kind of note happened.
Let's talk about the wife. I guess his mother-in-law, the actress.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Do you need me to keep going so that you can remember it?
No. I was like, wait, isn't that the end? But anyway. So yeah, he's doing.
We're basically
tribunal.
there. Yeah.
They're all yelling at him. They're just like super fucking angry. Like, this is our nation. Sell up the nuka sound. It'll help us. And these aren't, the East India bigwigs we've seen. Like, this is clearly meant to be the working class. But then you also realize that it's all people that his father owed some form of debt to.
He pays all the arrears.
Yeah, he's like, I owe 215 pounds and this, that, and the other. It'll be paid to you. Single file line. Everyone's like, what? Single fucking file line. They all line up, and then she comes out. Yeah. And she apparently is the lover and actual wife of his dead father, and also the circled name in the playbill he finds.
And can I say she kind of skirts the question of whether or not they consummated the marriage? She doesn't flat out answer that. She immediately goes to love letters, none of which actually talk about love making in them in terms of like what she actually quotes. So I'm wondering if maybe that's going to be like how it's disproven in the end that they never consummated the marriage, maybe?
Maybe, which to me is like, there's never going to be proof. The dude's dead. Like, why wouldn't you immediately be like, I suck the dust out of that dude's cock?
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I am absolutely going through and sampling that audio and making it your ringtone.
I suck the dust out of that dude's cock.
Oh my God.
Because he's old.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, when she does it, dust comes out and then a little flag that says bang.
Yeah, like the Joker. And he laughs just like I did. Anyway. So he's obviously nonplussed about it. And Thoit
He's
says...
nonplussed about it. Yeah, he's about to be fucked out of his fortune. He's nonplussed.
Well, at the same time, though, I don't think he gives a damn about the fortune. That guy has a bag of diamonds. I think
he needs the fortune to get all his revenge and everything like that is what it comes down to, though.
But those, I mean, I don't know how much the fortune is. I mean, the fortune, well, I guess more than anything, he's after the land, and I think he wants the land because he knows it's valuable to them. He never seems to be in it for the money. He has these diamonds that he can do. I think it's just that this girl is going to take it.
But he works hard for the money.
He does. I just think he's worried that if she takes it, all she's going to do is immediately sell it to them, which, no, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to fucking take the man down.
I'm sure that that's what she would do, too.
Yeah, like, who wouldn't? If you didn't have a dog in the fight, and as far as you were concerned, East India Company was like your Amazon, and, you know, you didn't see the horrors in the factories or whatever, I would also be like, yeah, let me take that obscene amount of money for that current time period.
Plus, I mean, obviously, or maybe not. Yeah, no, fuck it. Obviously, she's a gold-digging whore anyway, right?
You know I don't hang around with gold diggers.
That's pretty good.
I don't hang around with broke. The word that don't asshole brother-in-law keeps saying.
I'm gonna say the N-word.
God. I love how they were pretty heavy on the first episode. This one, this is part of this character's development. The only one that says it is, I guess, his brother-in-law. And he's just, you know, Queen Dickberry.
He is a Queen Dickberry.
God, he's the worst.
He's the dust that came out of the father's penis.
Yeah, seriously. Like, some people are like the twinkle in their father's pants. He's just dust.
Twinkle in their father's pants? It's not I?
I think Twinkle in their father's pants is actually the lyric from a Jellyfish song. Was just like a play on words. So that's what's canon in my mind.
What Jellyfish song is it again?
Now She Knows She's Wrong.
Now she knows she's wrong.
No, it's not that one. What song? That is a great song, though. I don't know what song it is. I'd have to think about it.
Whatever. Okay, so let's talk about the little stabbing scene here at the end.
Yeah, so I guess the hitman finds him. Did he have a silver tooth? Could you see that?
I could not tell. In fact, at first I couldn't even tell if it was a man or like an effeminate man or a woman or an Asian person, maybe. I really couldn't tell what I was seeing.
I actually didn't hear about the silver tooth part that you brought up earlier, so I wasn't looking for it. But I felt like I could see the teeth, so maybe they were trying to show that. It clearly had a veil, like a female. I think it was the hitman dressed as like a quaint woman, so he wouldn't be suspicious. He gets a dagger in the chest, but he's fucking brutal.
Yeah, he fucking rips his throat out with his teeth, too. Which actually kind of called back to, like, a scene earlier. Yeah, where his sister had asked him, like, flat out, did you dine on the flesh of men or something like that?
Did you eat flesh?
That's what she sounds like.
That was not what she sounded like. So anyway, obviously he's not going to die, right?
Wouldn't that be fucked up if he died and then the rest of the movie, or rest of the long form movie, it's a miniseries, right? He exacted his revenge through like the afterlife.
Damn, but who's gonna channel him now?
I don't know, man. Like I don't know. I mean, maybe there's this other character that will be introduced, and then it's him and like the ghost mulatto that go on their adventure.
I feel like you're not allowed to say that.
Is that a bad word?
I think so.
But isn't that just the name of that cookie?
That's a Milano cookie, by the way, and the word you use is mulatto, which is definitely, I feel like, a derogatory term for a mix. I don't even want to get into it, dude. You're making me very uncomfortable. My skin is literally crawling from your overt racism.
So I just typed in mulatto, which is definitely a different word than the cookie. My bad. And the first thing
Pepperidge Farm remembers, dude.
The first thing it says is, the Google reference. I'm not going to say it because now and immediately under it says dated, offensive.
Offensive! That's
Google
you.
Those are wrong. So, hey, I just had personal learning on the show. As you know, I'm normally PC police, so I'm open to it. I apologize.
That's not making the promo reel. That's a low light right there is what that is.
That is definitely a low light. But you know what? It's also like, I just developed as a character.
Bethany in our last episode started doing a voice like this, and then immediately, like, her face started getting red, and I could just tell she felt like really embarrassed that she was doing like a stereotypical, quote unquote, like retard voice, basically.
Oh, and then you said the word. You couldn't say mentally handicapped, could you?
No, but that's the association with the voice is what I'm saying. Like it felt offensive, like tardy, you know?
Yeah, when I hear that, I guess that is really what it means. When I hear it, for whatever reason, like my obsession with cartoons, I just always think of, and I guess they were saying that person was that way. I just always think of like the small, like, almost Al Capone, like, yeah, this is what we're going to do to him, see? And I need you to take him out. And their assistant's always that, like, yeah, sure, what do you say, boss?
Mimsy!
Yeah, that kind of character. So, but I also then think about the fact that Pepe Le Pew was a rapist and Speedy Gonzalez is, you know, pretty racist as well. And I think, yeah, that's probably still means it's bad.
Si, senor.
Oh, man. So,
okay, so this is it. Episode's over. So how are you feeling about the season so far? Like, this is still a pretty new show to us. Where do you honestly, where does it lie for you?
Like, in the pantheon of all shows ever, I don't know.
No, I mean, just how are you feeling about it?
You know, we talked a little bit about it at the top of the hour, but I love this episode. First episode, I loved like the world and where it was going, and by the end, I was in on it. But I also wasn't super engaged in the first half, whereas this was all like momentum, but also more development, some more characters. So I am super excited.
Okay. All right. So, and I feel the same way. Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning. I think that the show could use a little tightening up maybe, but I really enjoy it overall. And it's something that even if we weren't covering this on here, I'd be looking forward to watching every single week. So,
yeah. And I think it's fairly unique subject matter. Like, there's not a lot of shows on that are period pieces and that are kind of subversive and gritty and exciting. Like, I think of period pieces and I think of Downton Abbey and just the different A&E like mystery theater shows. You know, there's not a lot on there that's kind of like this. I mean, you have the fantasy stuff like Game of Thrones, but it's pretty unique content.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, write in if you have anything you'd like to contribute to any upcoming episodes. Pretty much whatever it is. I mean, we're going to audit it to make sure it's not as offensive as what Mothman started spewing out at the end of this episode. But just search out Boob Tube Buddies on any social media platform. We got a presence everywhere. And tell somebody about the show. I mean, that's honestly the best thing you can do to help us out. Obviously, like the 5-star ratings and reviews and so that all helps. But honestly, just word of mouth really is the best way. And we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Mothman, anything you want to add before you tie a bow on this bitch?
I don't think so. I think you covered it. So on that note, we'll see you next time, little buddies. Hey, how about Blasian? Is that racist?